afford to stop and go. I had to stay consistent. Made up my mind that no matter.
Well, if you're going to play football in Arizona, a dome and air conditioning, those are two good things to have, and we've got both here at State Farm Stadium, just west of downtown Phoenix. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Ready up. Striker, 3-3.
Right out of the gates, Lance going to the air.
And he will find his man on the outside. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one as a receiver is got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't rein in at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
And now they'll throw with Lance. Well, the corner gets a hand on it, but he still makes the play.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Here we go.
Throwing now is Lance.
They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area. But they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And some room to run now. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1.
Here's Lance to throw it.
And he's got his big tight end here. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right.
And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown.
Alvin Kamara, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the 49ers get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Finding his target, it's Trey McBride. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. First carry for James Conner. 2 yards, good enough for a first. The Cardinals at 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that, and what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They felt they had the right guys on the team and in the locker room. But they do have to start winning some games.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. This defense for the Niners, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. Murray now. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Murray going to throw. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 20-yard line. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 1st and 10 is Conner. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They stay on the ground. Here's Conner again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Murray on the sneak, and he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
There may have been a of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
They'll run here with Connor, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
2nd down and goal. Murray. And that'll be incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And he's got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. Zach Ertz, halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50. And the Cardinals are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. And Johnson's extra point up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Ready.
4 yards remain for 2nd down. On the counter, here's Kamara. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. Lance going to try and throw on 3rd down here. He rifles one, it's intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Murray a give. This is Connor. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Oh, Connor loses it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Do you remember in preseason we were going to the different visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Again, it's Kamara. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Looking left side, and it's complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 44-yard line. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. A 10th carry for Kamara. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. Really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Kamara up the middle. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's got some space here. 76 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. The Lance going to throw. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Alvin Kamara with a milestone. Career touchdown number 100. Joining Curtis Martin and Franco Harris at the century mark as he continues to climb the all-time list. And the Niners have taken the lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Over the middle, complete. It's Brown. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Murray now on 1st down.
This is taken in by McBride.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Now Murray again. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Thomas. And the 49ers are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you've got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board.
Ready?
A give. This is Kamara. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Now Lance. He's going to float this one deep right side. He's got it at the 15. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. It'll be the Cardinals who get the ball first. They trail here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the 2nd quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Connor. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. Just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Charvarius Ward there to make the stop.
Give them credit for trying, but there's no fooling the defense with that call. They were reading run, and they set up to stuff the run, and then executed.
Here's 2nd and 9. Murray now to throw. Try to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Thomas. And the Niners are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 25 yards that time.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It's only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Lance looking to throw it. And that will be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And Gay knocks this one through, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. Sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. From the 30 on 2nd down, Murray. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
He's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteeing quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
From the gun, Murray. He'll get this complete to Rondale Moore. And he is going to have the Cardinals first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Now Murray. Zach Ertz has it complete. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
That was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was up for his tight end on the quarter route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Connor up the middle. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 44 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I know a coach told me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the 3rd time. Picked up by Charvarius Ward.
Boy, Charles, that is now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, and you can see he's just got a look of disgust and bad body language, understandably, as he walks off the field.
And I think it comes from the fact that he's not sure what he sees down the field, Brandon. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I don't know if he just can't read defenses. I'm not sure what it is, but that's why he's frustrated. And think about the defense right now. Every time they run on the field, they've gone from hoping to intercept the pass to expecting to intercept passes. Their confidence at an all-time high right now.
He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down.
And that's not a play that you see all that often at the start of a drive, but some teams, they don't mind doing it. And that one, well sold by the offensive lineman. They showed the pass, and then they got out into space, able to get some good blocks downfield and allow the play to be successful.
Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one down the line of scrimmage.
He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On the NFL scoreboard, 3rd quarter from Las Vegas. You saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Gay's kick is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Fred Warner.
And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football.
And that pretty much has been the storyline, Charles. This defense, they seem to be one step ahead from the start of the game until now.
And you identified it perfectly, and we can see the frustration that's settling in now. And it's probably been there for a long time, but now it's evident because you can see it in their faces, you can see it in their body language, maybe even a little bit in that play call that ended up maybe closing them out. Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
And that will be incomplete as well.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
It's a pickup of 6. brings up 2nd and 4 at the 24-yard line.
From the 24, Murray. And now here is another interception. And the Niners will have solid field position here as they take over at the 45-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go.
We'll get this up to the 47 and brought down there.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner, 100 yards or more in a game.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And this offense on 3rd down today, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5.
From midfield, here's Lance. Got a man, it's Schwartz, complete.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They'll get 34 yards there. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
114 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Here we go, set.
From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This has not been a fun game for this defense. They've definitely had their share of struggles, but they needed to make a play right there, and they finally get it done on 3rd and goal.
Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chip in. And Gay knocks this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So all things considered, that's not the final nail, but it does make things exceedingly difficult now on the other side.
Yeah, because obviously now with a 16-point game, the other guys don't need just 2 touchdowns. They need a couple of 2-point conversions as well. Plus they'll need either a turnover or an onside kick in there somewhere. So you're just adding to the list of things that need to happen in sequence. And it's going to be a pretty tall order this late in the game.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third. Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. They run behind center with Cotter. And he loses the football a second time. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Stiff-armed him. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30.
141 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they will take a knee here. So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for San Francisco, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for Arizona, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks.
Suck like my skin coming beige. Gonna step out and with him, girl, you fake. Try to get it out, what you handsome. You and dance on. Tell your boyfriend, go and put your pants on. Down. The best friend. She went and did the same thing. I'm really mad, but she won't know. Everything has gotta be cool when we living so cold. Feel it in your bones. You ain't gonna feel it till I'm gone. Caught up in your feelings, now you froze.